Hey guys, my name is Noah. When I finish with this degree, and let's be honest, probably 3 more, I want to work in motorsports. Where in motorsports is still up in the air simply because there are so many working parts to a race team that I cannot decide where I want to be. I've been going to races since I was in a stroller, and during my undergraduate life, I was known as NASCAR Noah to my friends. I know way too much about the sport. Many people think that it's just simply a car on the track, but only a few know the science and mastery that it takes to prepare for a different track every week. While reading through the Chapter 1 of Mastery by Greene, I found myself circling back to the Return to Your Origins section. They all spoke to me in some different form or fashion, but returning to my origins was the one. When I graduated with my undergraduate degree in 2018, I was coming fresh off an internship with a professional lacrosse team in Atlanta. I had fallen in love with the sport and the speed at which the game day moved. I thought I could land a job with either that team or another team in the league, and I was wrong. While I could have had a job if it was in sales, I did not want to do sales straight out of college. So I applied left and right to sports jobs and didn't get a single one. And finally, I heard back from a job in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Went for my interview and landed it. I had no idea what type of job it was, and come to find out, it was sales. So for 6 months, I drove 85 miles round trip to a job that I did not want to do. I hated the hospitality industry, especially after living in a city based around it for 6 years. Finally, I had come to love the sales side of the job and being in control of my own wealth. But I knew I wanted to return to my origins, and sports is just that. With sports comes cars, and I love cars equally as much as sports. So finally, I applied to CarMax and landed a job where I could drive every type of car that I ever wanted to and still be in control of my money. So much like Einstein, my mind constantly goes back to the thought of the engineering and marketing that goes into making a car profitable. To occupy the perfect niche can be difficult in the sports world. It's an oversaturated market now. Everyone that I know in the industry wants to work with a team in baseball, the NBA, or the NFL. I don't. NASCAR's at a point where it needs to grow in its market or fail like so many other sports. While it's not seashells or phantom limbs, NASCAR is often argued to not be a sport. I know that my love for a specific niche will cause me to succeed, and I'll lose the feeling of not fitting in. Avoiding the false path was the hardest one for me, as I often get in my own head that I'll just follow my father's footsteps into manufacturing. While my parents allowed me to pursue degrees in any degree I wanted, they often state that another one of our sons is getting a degree in something that will not make money. They wanted me to be practical, much like Mozart's father. My parents were strict and demanded total obedience on a certain scale. I grew up with the naval chief for a father, and that was very active in my church as a child. They knew that they only had a certain amount of years to instill what they wanted into my head. While they weren't as strict as Mozart's father, I, like most children, was taught what they believe as a child. Another point is letting go of the past. We all know saying that hindsight is 20/20. We've all made stupid mistakes, but sometimes letting go of those mistakes takes time. This is one of the most difficult for me, and the fact of the matter is, you are not tied to a particular position. Your loyalty is not to a career or company. That can be difficult for me due to the fact that I always want to succeed in the role that I'm in the company that I'm with. While I may not be fit for the role, I still want to do my best to succeed. I see my mess ups and mistakes that I've made throughout my career, and growing from those can be extremely difficult for me. The life or death strategy did not seem like it applied to me at first, but looking back on those days of driving and doing sales in Hilton Head in my 2004 Jeep Wrangler that got 11 miles to the gallon made me regret my decision every day. And I knew I needed out. And while I was never at the point of ending my life in those 6 months, it seemed like nothing would ever go my way. It started, though, as new jobs and new relationships and old friends actually guided me to CarMax and helped me succeed where I'm at and be able to achieve my master's degree in the present. These next 3 weeks will be a true learning experience for me. The goals I want to achieve are simple: to not fall behind while working a full-time job and to learn the skills of multitasking, something that I've since forgotten since college. Life is only going to become busier in the coming years with new responsibilities and mastering my own life and future ideas that I'm taught It's not anything I cannot handle.